Thanks, guys. Well, one aspect of this ministry that you are supporting when you call today to give financially is our 24/7 prayer line. My guest today recently became a new member of our prayer center. Welcome, Krystle.
Thank you. I'm happy to be here with you.
Now, we're going to talk a little bit more about your role in the prayer center, but first, your journey is interesting, and I love this because most of our prayer partners have a story. So you're able to relate to people that call. So a past of addiction, abuse, share some of that story with us.
Yeah, so at a very young age, I was sexually abused. I was about 2 or 3 years old, left me traumatized in a state of shock and fear. I lived with fear and anxiety for so many years, up until the time I gave my life to the Lord, and He completely set me free from that. During university, I struggled with addiction. I was addicted to a lot of things that I used to kind of make me feel a little bit more alive and more free. So I would, spend my time, smoking a lot of marijuana to get through my studies because it helped me to cope with the anxiety and the reality of life. And at that age, I had a psychotic break from reality, and I was diagnosed with schizophrenia, which kind of left me feeling hopeless and in despair until I found hope in Christ.
Wow. Yeah. I was reading some of your, you had written some information for us, and this broke my heart, Krystle. You said, I felt forgotten and unseen by the people who matter most to me. I felt like a piece of trash that had been tossed in the garbage by the people I loved.
Yeah, well, at a young age, I was about 13 years old. My parents abandoned me. They were kind of dealing with their own life issues, and I was kind of left in a position of being responsible for my siblings. So I was kind of abandoned and left to fend for myself, and I felt forgotten by everybody around me. There was nobody there to guide me, to lead me, to show me what to do, how to function as an adult. So I felt kind of worthless, like I was a piece of trash, like nobody cared about the fact that I existed or that my siblings existed. Oftentimes I would look to teachers at school for support, and they were great support for me, but I still didn't have that home front, that place where I could go to, where I felt safe, where I felt like I could have a role model to trust in. And so I kind of felt like there was just no hope for me at that point, no place of safe refuge. And God restored a lot of that to me in my Christian journey.
Yeah. And when we encounter God, it's still a process, right? Everything doesn't become rosy right away.
Exactly.
But you've chosen to serve in our prayer center.
Yes.
Tell us why that's so important to you.
Part of why is when I was struggling with anxiety, I had nights of chronic insomnia where I would go 2 weeks sometimes with 0 sleep. And in those times, I could call Crossroads at any time of day or night. When I was up all night, I would call them, and they would gently and kindly pray with me on the phone. And I knew that I had that support there because, you can't call your friends in the middle of the night. Everybody has their lives and stuff. So I knew that I could call Crossroads anytime, and they would be there to offer care and compassion and just be a listening ear and pray with me. So I wanted to give something like that back to somebody else, to be a listening ear, to be somebody that could just be there as a sounding board for somebody else in their time of need.
And why is it important for our friends at home to give today?
It's just, this ministry has such an impact on our community, on lives. I think for me, it saved me from falling into despair to the point of suicide. And I think for a lot of people who are struggling with hopelessness, feeling like there's no one to turn to, feeling like they have no one to listen to, 100 Huntley Street, this ministry is a safe place for them to go to, and it's providing a network for people to connect with so that they don't have to feel like there's no options. They don't have to feel like there's no one that cares and there's no one there to listen.
Thank you so much, Krystle. And thank you for what you're doing on the prayer lines.
I love being there. I'm so glad.
This is a perfect example of why you need to give, so that we can continue to have great people like Krystle on our prayer lines. Again, 1-800-265-3100. You can give securely online, crossroads.ca/donate. Hey guys, we're heading back to you, Kevin and Greg.